This is what Cardinal Ratzinger had to say before he was Pope. And I love this. This has become a theme for me. This is my prayer for you. It begins with the prayer of Ephesians 1:18, "Oh, that the eyes of your heart would be open." But this is my prayer for each one of us. He says this about evangelization. In the end, evangelization means to transform poverty of every kind. Now, I'm going to talk a lot about that tomorrow. But I love that. We live in a world that's so poor. Even in the rich countries, we're poor. We live in a world where babies don't make it to birth because of artificial contraception and surgical abortion. We live in a world where the babies that are born, more than half of them are going to bed tonight hungry. We live in a world where so many young people are afflicted with diseases that are actually easily curable, but we just haven't figured out how to get the medicine to them. We live in a world where people don't know God. They don't know that He has a deep love and a profound plan for their lives. I don't know what form of poverty you've been called to address, but the end of evangelization is to transform poverty in all of its forms. To be able to say that God's going to lay something on your heart, some form of poverty, and you would make the difference. Think about this. We live in a really broken world, and that's unbelievably good news for you because you were made for greatness. It's hard to become great when everything's going well. Think about Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King, if he had been born at a time when there wasn't a civil rights crisis, he would have been another preacher from the South. But because he was born and raised up in the middle of a civil rights crisis, and he stepped into it, he became a great man. That's on a social and a civic level. You've been called to greatness on a spiritual level, which is an even higher plane. It includes the social and the civic. But we live in a time of spiritual crisis, and that's absolutely great news for those of us who have been called to greatness. Because when things break down, greatness becomes possible. It's a dark, dark culture, and that is unbelievably good news because light shines farther in the darkness. In the daytime, you can see the sun. At night, you can see the stars. Each one of you were meant to glow in the dark, to shine with the light of Christ and transform poverty in whatever forms.